What's up, everybody? Scott Jansen here. And in today's video, I want to answer the question of how to automate your coaching or hypnotherapy or even your NLP business online. But in saying that, not even just how to automate, but the most important question to ask yourself is when to automate your business. So in this video, I'm going to break down the when you should be automating your business, the how, and the 3 types of systems that you can run in order to build your business from the zero mark, from absolute scratch, all the way well into the 6-figure per month mark. I'm going to show you the 3 systems that I've evolved my coaching business through, plus what we teach hundreds of our students to do as well. So this video, guys, is going to be all about automation, how to scale your business at the same time, also make your business more efficient with time, and essentially the things you can put into place to start making money even while you sleep. But guys, before we get into the action, I just want to announce that I have written a brand new book, which I have called I Can Make You a Rich Coach, Hypnotherapist, and NLP Practitioner. So if you're watching this video, guys, head over to scottjansen.com.au. I'm allowing the next 100 downloads of my book to be for absolute free. This book's going to cover everything from systems, your inputs, your outputs, the social media, how to grow your business, how to get clients online, how to make money, and again, what we're talking about today, how you can start to automate parts of your business. So guys, let's dive straight into the action. Let's move into the first part of building the 3 systems. Let me introduce you to the first system, which is all about building your business from scratch. The second system, which is about automating the process. And the last one is what I call your team system, how you can actually have a sales team make sales for you in your business so you can go ahead and do other things in your life. You can have that whole laptop lifestyle. You can travel all the time. Your business is going to be growing and scaling in the background. So guys, firstly, head over into scottjansen.com.au. Make sure you download this book because some of the stuff that I'll be talking about today is in a lot more detail in this book as well, but I'll also leave a description in the link. I'll leave a link in the description below rather. So guys, make sure you come and download that copy. We're only allowing 100 of these copies to go for free. So guys, without further ado, let's dive straight into the action. Let's look at the when and the how to automate your coaching business online. All right, so here we go. So what I want to do first is just take you through this quick presentation, which will break down the 3 types of systems that I recommend you use when you're looking to automate and scale your coaching business. Now, this can even work for a hypnotherapy business, RTT, NLP. It really doesn't matter of the frame or the context of the business. This is essentially how you can automate the entire thing online. Like I said, there are 3 systems and I'm going to walk you guys through just in this short presentation. Then what I'll do is I'll take you out of this presentation and I'll take you over to show you what this looks like in real time, from the social media to the webinar to the booking system. I'll give you a brief run through of what those look like in real time. So I'll put you guys in the context of, let's say you're starting your business from scratch. You want to be looking at what I call your first and most basic system. Now, what's funny is I see a lot of therapists and coaches, they'll get certified, they'll set up some parts of systems of their business, and then the first thing that they want to do is automate everything. They want to go hire a VA, they want to have webinars, they want to have funnels, they want to automate the entire thing. And this is definitely the incorrect way to do it. The first place you want to gain experience and confidence in is this basic system. There is nothing that's going to give you more experience and more confidence than learning how to sell your end result, which will be your therapy session, your coaching product, whatever it is, selling this in real time with real people and getting confident in selling your process on the phone. There is so much you can learn by doing strategy calls or clarity calls or sales calls, whatever you want to call them, because there is one sure thing about doing a phone call is we can stabilize the outcome, which I'll show you what this actually looks like. So without getting too further ahead, let's look at the first one and the basic system. Now, this is what we recommend for all of our students that we're teaching them how to grow their business from absolute scratch. And this basic system is actually seeing our students go from like 0 all the way to $10,000, even $20,000 per month with just this very basic system. Now, if you're not even sure, you're looking at this going, Scott, what the hell is a system? What is an input? What's a process? What's an output? What I recommend, guys, is go to www.scottjansen.com.au. Go ahead and download a free copy, like I recommended before, a free copy of my I Can Make You a Rich Coach, Hypnotherapist, and NLP Practitioner, because it is a book all about these systems, how to apply these systems, how to build these systems, what these systems are, and what you can actually do with these systems to help you grow your business. So make sure you go ahead and download that book, because this will make a lot more sense. I've gone through this process and this system so many times in other videos as well, so I don't need to dive too deep into it. If you want, I will leave a couple of videos in the description as well that'll take you through the very basics of what this system is, and you'll be able to apply those strategies to this video as well. But without digressing again, let's get into it. So we know we have our inputs, our process, and output, and our goal with the basic system is to grow a business from zero all the way through to $10,000 to $20,000 per month. So guys, we know our inputs are our short-term and our long-term social media. So these are the things that we're doing each and every day to get the attention of our potential clients. So whether it's a Facebook Live, it's a post, it's an announcement, it's a YouTube video, it's whatever you're doing to get the attention of your market, and it's essentially telling them of the solution that you have for them, and then ultimately wanting you to sell them a solution to them. So we know the inputs is the actions we take each day. Far off to the right here, we have our outputs, which is our income. But what I want to concentrate, especially in this video, is what I call the process stage. So the basic system in the process stage is to take an input, like a Facebook Live, that you give a call to action and say, hey, at the end of this video, I'm going to be giving away 5 free strategy calls to see if I can help you find the perfect relationship or overcome your anxiety or, clear your abundance blocks, whatever your coaching or your hypnotherapy process is, whatever you're selling, whatever your niche is, you want to take them from an input into a strategy call. Why a strategy call, guys? Because we can stabilize this process. We have control in a phone call. It's very, very hard to get control in a sales page, a funnel, a webinar, a squeeze page, a lead page, whatever it is, unless you have a lot of experience in selling this over the phone. Because what you're going to learn over the phone is the objections. You're going to know what questions to ask. You're going to know what language to use. You only learn all of this intricate information by doing sales calls, by doing these strategy calls and getting on the phone with your potential client, because you can take them through an entire experience of what do they want from you? Why do they want it? What's their motivation? What's their long-term goal, their short-term goal? Why do they want this? Why hasn't this worked in the past? What have they tried in the past? And you're basically leeching information from them, which is going to help you in the next system, which I'm going to give you, but it helps you better understand your market. One of the big reasons why therapists and coaches don't make money in their business is because not only are they not doing strategy calls, they're usually relying on like a sales page or a sales team or a squeeze page that, they have no idea what their market really wants, but they just don't know enough about their market. They don't know how to sell their service. Selling a hypnotherapy and a coaching service or a package that's, with a price tag of $1,000 all the way up to $5,500 clients like our students takes a lot of experience and confidence. The only way you get that confidence is by doing a strategy call. We want to stabilize this strategy call. So guys, what I'm saying here is all the inputs that you do, you want to lead them all to a strategy call. And when I show you what that looks like in real time, it's simply getting them booked in through a free booking system into a strategy call for about 45 minutes, where you get on the call with them, you follow either a process that you've come up with, or our students have, a script and a presentation that they can show their potential clients. This is all stuff we give them, but they can stabilize that conversation. Then at the end of the conversation, they can ask for the payment. The potential client gets their credit card out, and this leads to an output of like a $1,500 sale, a $2,500 sale, a $5,500 sale, whatever it is. And you can quite easily build this from zero to $10,000 to $20,000 per month. Very, very simple. Nothing automated. Okay. Now, unless you're getting like 50, 60 leads per day, just as an example, you shouldn't be automating anything. The only way people get good at automating parts of their business is from being in the trenches, from learning what happens on a strategy call. If you can't sell your service at the end of a strategy call, it's going to be impossible to sell it at the end of a webinar. It's going to be impossible to sell it at the end of a funnel. It's going to be impossible to teach a sales team how to sell it for you if you can't sell it yourself. Now, you should be very glad with this basic system because it is so simple. It's essentially do social media, get people on a strategy call, close the strategy call. There's nothing that needs to be automated. I mean, doing 10 to 20 grand per month is not going to require a lot of your time on the phone. Essentially, the more strategy calls you get, the more chance you have of closing them, the more output you're going to get. Okay, so what happens next? So once you've mastered the basic system and you're getting confidence in the strategy call, all we're going to do is automate this part of the process. Okay, the inputs and the output remains the same. So once you start getting to that 10 to 20 grand per month, especially that 20 grand per month mark, you're going to notice that it's about time to get more efficient with your time. So instead of being on the phone all the time and doing, maybe 10, 20 strategy calls per week, or even 5 or 10, whatever your numbers are, we can actually automate this process and turn it into the second automation system. So number 2 would be the automated system, which I'm going to take you through now. Okay, and here we go. So this is the automated system. So this one can easily scale from $20,000 all the way up to $50,000 per month. And this was the biggest jump that I made when I went away from just the manual strategy call, booking everyone on a strategy call for myself, where they could only buy at the end of the strategy call. I got to about that $20,000 mark. Then I started to realize, hey, I'm getting confident in this strategy call. I'm closing nearly every sale, but my time is becoming a little bit restricted. The time that I'm using on the phone, let's see if I can automate parts of that so I can get time to put back into my business, which will be more social media, and give the chance for my potential clients and my students to book automatically, to join my program automatically. But the only way I was able to do that is by taking all of my experience from the strategy call and putting it into this new part of the process, which has 2 offers. So let me show you what this looks like. And like I said, this was one of the biggest jumps that I've made. And I'll show you the third jump that we made as well. But even for our students, above $20,000 per month to about $50,000 per month, you can automate this whole process. So see what I mean? The inputs stay the same, the outputs stay the same, but what changes is this process, okay? So let's have a look what this looks like. So what we can do instead of just only offering a strategy call is when we're doing our inputs, which is our short-term and long-term social media, instead of driving everybody to our booking system, which is going to be a strategy call, we can now drive traffic to a webinar. And the webinar that I recommend, and I'll give you a real-time look at what our webinar looks like, is you can have a webinar that offers 2 things, okay? The point of a webinar, guys, is to break down objections, okay? It's to break down what I call false belief statements. And this is what we teach all of our therapy maximizer students to do. The webinar that we help them create is not about just teaching people. It's not about just showing how much information you know. It's not even about giving things away for free, like free strategies. No, what a webinar is supposed to do is break down the objections, because you're not on the phone with this person where you can manually break down their objections. You have the webinar break down the objections. So by the time they go into the webinar, they're going to have objections. You create clear arguments throughout the webinar as to why your system or why your process will work for them. Break down all their false beliefs and their objections. So at the end of the webinar, it's like a clear slate for them. They're thinking, wow, this makes sense. I never thought of it like this before. Or wow, I didn't know that was possible. I thought this could only happen, but now this makes sense that this can happen. And you break down all those objections. Then at the end of the webinar, you've got 2 options. So we give 2 offers at the end of our webinars. The first one is straight to a sale, which means that at the end of the webinar, after about an hour and a half of a webinar, you can see it's a big automated process, and putting together a webinar, guys, that actually takes control of the circumstance, stabilizes the process as well, and in fact substitutes you, instead of you being on the phone handling objections, now you've got a lot of confidence in your webinar, is one of the hardest things you can do. But when you get it right, it can literally work, as it says up here, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So the 2 offers that we have in the webinar, straight to the sale, where someone can dive straight into my program. And the cool thing about it is we've automated the process every part after as well. So let's say they go with the first offer, they can click, on the webinar software that we use, a button will pop up and say, hey, join the program now for $997. And that's for our 100K coaching program. They click on that, takes them straight through to PayPal. They click on PayPal. Once they've enrolled over PayPal, we've automated so they instantly get their login details. Okay, so what does this look like? Well, it means that at the end of the webinar, if they choose to go straight for the sale, now I'm getting paid into my PayPal account and I haven't had to do anything. I haven't even had to send them their login details, because that's all automated. And this can happen 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So my time zone is Australian Eastern Standard Time, Australian Central Standard Time. So what happens, let's say I start my day at 9 a.m. and I finish usually about 9 p.m. I do about a 12, maybe even a bit more hours per day. But you've got to think what happens to your business when you go to sleep. When your business shuts down, okay, there's no way someone can purchase your service, purchase your program. Sure, with the basic system, they can still book a strategy call and that's fine. But with this, when you start getting above that $20,000 per month, the idea is to drive people through the webinar, which is all from your call to action and your inputs, into some automated sales. So you can start making money while you sleep. So that's the first offer we give them to sale. The second option is we go straight from the webinar. So the first option is join my program, or take the second offer, which is to book a strategy call. Okay, so what this means is I'm not eliminating the strategy call, but I'm giving it as a second option. And to give you some numbers, we probably get about 60 to 70% right now, the last couple of months especially, 60 to 70% go straight from the webinar to sale, and only about 30% come through from the strategy call, which we nearly have about 100% close rate. I mean, that's automating. That's getting really efficient with our time. Okay, but you do not want to start here. Please don't think you're going to go from $0 to $50,000 per month with this, because this is one of the hardest things to build. To give you an example, it took me about 6 weeks to build my webinar and several versions of it for testing. And there's a lot of elements, there's a lot of systems, a lot of testing that it's involved to make sure you get this right, because I have to rely that this webinar is going to do all the selling for me. That's going to close all of these sales that I need for my business and to grow my income. And it's the same thing we teach our students. Our students that are doing $20,000 to $50,000 per month, they're relying a lot on this webinar. They still have 2 offers, but the webinar is substituting them. Okay, so now they can make money 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But again, it's a very simple system. It's very elegant, but it's very, very powerful. So what happens next? Well, the next jump that we made was to get past that $50,000 per month, and it's now moving into and beyond this 6-figure a month mark. So let me show you what that looks like. So the third system is what I call the team system, and this one you can build past the 50 all the way up to $100,000. Beyond that, obviously per month as well. So this is really like a 6-figure per month system. So as again, inputs, social media, your short-term and long-term outputs remain the same. Obviously your income grows, but now let's look at the process. So the process is a little bit different now. Okay. So this one is for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week sales, or booking your strategy calls. And now we're dealing with time zone. So let me show you this. Webinar to sale, like before, they can join my program at the end. Webinar to strategy call, if they don't want to join my program and pay now, they can do a strategy call. And at the end, I'm going to, if I feel like I can help them with my program, I'll offer it to them. I'll take the payment at the end of the strategy call, and I'll just manually add them to the program. Or when it comes to a time zone issue. So remember, when I'm asleep, if someone wants to book a strategy call outside of the times that I can take strategy calls, I now get them to book a strategy call with my sales team. Okay, so this takes care of all the other time zones. Okay, so maybe it's like over in America, we're in Canada, we're in Russia. I'm just trying to think of where else we get the UK, just trying to think wherever else we get leads from. So let's say for someone in the UK watches my webinar and they want to book a strategy call, but they see the time zones are out. So my 9 a.m. might be like their 12 or 11 p.m. or 1 a.m. in the morning type thing, where the time zone is really off. But they don't want to go straight for the webinar sale, or they can book a strategy call into my team, and my team can take care of that strategy call for me. And my team are over in the UK and also in America, so they can take care of those time zones. So think about the logistics of this. Now I have someone can join my program with that webinar to sale, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The webinar, they can book a strategy call either in my time zone, but if they don't like that time zone, they can book in the time zone with my team, and they can have it better for their time zone. So they might want to book of a 10 a.m. their time, which will match up to one of my team's times over in the United States at 10 a.m. as well. Okay, and it's just a commission base that I pay for each close, for each sale. So guys, still pretty elegant, pretty simple, and please do not start here. You shouldn't be hiring a team. You shouldn't need to automate or hire a team if you're not even getting close to $10,000 per month. You're not doing that much work. But when you start to get to $20,000 to $50,000 per month, even then, you don't have to automate. You can still take care of all this stuff manually. However, you might want to get some more time back in your life. You might want to go do other things instead of working on your business. You might want to travel with your laptop, do that whole laptop lifestyle thing. That's when automation comes in to be more efficient. But you can still do that stuff manually. But when you start getting, beyond that $50,000 per month and you want to scale to six-figure plus per month, that's when you want to start looking at hiring a team to take care of the time zones. But still, people can make sales 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All right, so guys, we got to the end of that. Hopefully that made sense. Now, again, if you're really unsure, what the hell are you talking about, Scott, with systems, inputs, process, outputs, make sure, guys, I'll leave a link in the description as well. Make sure you go download my book because it's all it talks about for about 50 odd pages is the inputs, process, and outputs. And we also talk about this process in a lot more detail. So what I'm going to do now, guys, I'm going to take you to a real life version of this. I'll take you through each one of the systems, the first one, the second one, and the third one. So the basic, the automated, and the team system. I'll show you what that looks like so you guys can just sort of navigate what I have online and start to implement this for yourself. So let me transition over to real time and show you what this looks like. All right, so here we go. So let me give you some real life examples to see these systems in action. So as you can see here, guys, I've got my Facebook page open and I've also got my YouTube channel. We know that Facebook, is a short-term strategy, which means that we need to be constantly posting on this every 2 to 3 hours. And we also know that the YouTube channel is more of a long-term strategy, which enables us to, upload 2 or 3 videos per week and then allow the YouTube algorithm start to show these videos to the right people. And this can be done 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it can grow organically. So let's look at the basic system. So a couple of places we can attach the basic system is, as you can see here, I've got my Facebook banner here. And yes, this is on my personal page, but it says here, click to book a free strategy call. So that could really align with the basic system. Okay. So the reason I don't drive people straight to the webinar here is because I can control this circumstance a lot better. We've tried it with go straight to the webinar here, which would be the second system that you can implement, but this works better to have a free strategy call here as well. And we show our students this as well. And if literally they click on this, you can see that it takes them through. I'll click on this now. And it will take them straight through to be able to book a strategy call just on the right-hand side here. Just wait for this to load. There we go. So they can book straight into a strategy call there. Okay, and we can pick up some new potential students just from having this banner. But as you can see here, if I just scroll down, my inputs are things like testimonials. So that's one of our students talking about his first $1,000 AUD first client ever. Another $1,500. So as you can see here, I'm just showing all the testimonials on the left-hand side here, more on the left here of all of our students who have success with my program. So I'm essentially marketing my business. But I want to show you something here as well, which is quite interesting. You remember how we talked about the basic systems and you can scale it from like 0 all the way up to $20,000 per month? Well, here's one of our students that just hit her first $30,000 per month with her RTT business. And guys, she's still running the basic system. Remember the basic system? Nothing really automated. It's all from social media straight into a strategy call, and she's closing strategy calls. So even to get to $30,000 per month, there's nothing automated. She doesn't have a team. She's doing this all by herself. However, she has reached that threshold. So I just spoke to this student over the weekend, and it's very, very interesting to hear her talk about the byproducts of doing a $30,000 per month business. She's telling me that she's starting to get tired. She's starting to run out of time. Her time isn't as efficient as it was when she was getting to like $10,000 per month. So what's the conversation I had with her? Let's now evolve this basic system into an automated system. So her next step to scale past $30,000 per month to like the $50,000 per month and get more efficient with her time, meaning that she won't have to do so many actions per day. Instead of doing so many strategy calls per day, she can now allow the automated webinar, which I'll show you what that, guys, looks like. It's just up here on the right-hand side. She can now take her time back and allow the automated webinar to do the sales for her or book the strategy calls for her so she won't have to do it manually. So it's very, very interesting to see the threshold for these systems. Like I said, she's getting tired. Her time isn't efficient. She's sort of running out of time per day. Now the next step for her, just like many of our other students doing $20,000 to $30,000 per month, is now to evolve and now start to automate those systems. But like I said, she got to $30,000, guys, within 5 months, $30,000 per month from scratch. okay, from absolute scratch, no clients, no business, no niche, no money, nothing coming in, to 5 months later, now scaling to $30,000 per month, just with the very basic system, okay? So don't overlook how basic the system can be, okay? And just, do this stuff manually. So here's some more testimonials, more inputs that I'm doing. So I have a difference in, testimonials. I'm showing videos. But all of these things, guys, that you are doing with your system, all of these things should be directing towards a strategy call. So let's say, for example, on this video, and I don't have to do this much anymore because my webinar takes care of it, but let's say I was doing this video using the basic system, I would say at the end, hey, I'm giving away 5 free strategy calls, or look in the description right here and book a strategy call with me if you want to learn to overcome anxiety or quit smoking, and drive all of these inputs, all of the things I'm doing. Give people a chance to go from your Facebook into booking a strategy call with you. And guys, it's the same thing for your YouTube channel. So here's an example of my YouTube channel. If I was running the basic system, and I'll show you what my system looks like with this a little bit more advanced, but let's say I'm doing, so here I've got some student testimonials, I've got some normal information, how-to videos, but I do the same thing with these videos. I'd make a video and I'd say, hey, in the description, go book a strategy call with me. Everything I'm doing, every input, every action I'm taking, I'm driving people into my booking system, which looks like this, guys. So from my Facebook social media, my YouTube social media, drive them all through here and literally get on a strategy call with people and take the call yourself, take your potential clients through a process and sell to them at the end. And like I said, that's how you can get to that 0 to 10, 20, and like my students, even $30,000 per month before you think about automating. At any point you have to evolve to automating, it is a whole new ball game. People make it seem so simple, but believe me, to get a webinar to close with the same percentages you can on a strategy call is extremely difficult if you don't know what you're doing. So let's say, for example, you're closing at 60, 70%. Imagine trying to make a webinar that closes for you without, at 60 to 70%, without having the option to actually speak to that person, to cover all of their objections, to have the right arguments in the right place, the right closing mechanisms, the right journey, all of that. You've got to put that all into a webinar that lasts about 90 minutes. It's extremely difficult. The only way you make a webinar and automation process simple is by getting experience by doing these strategy calls. Okay, so that's the basic system. So let's say I was then going to automate and I was going to go through the advanced system. So I do the same thing. So as you can see, Facebook, I drive all my people from Facebook and my YouTube, but instead with my call to action, let's say I use my call to action again, I'll just take you to that video. With this call to action, what I would say instead is, hey, go check out my free webinar, and just keep driving people through the webinar, okay? So I'll give you a better example of this, excuse me, I'll give you a better example of this from one of my YouTube videos. So let me just pick this one. So this is one of our students growing a business from 0 to $20,000 per month with RTT in 5 months. Okay, so I'll just shut this video when it loads. There we go. We don't need to see your ad. Okay. So what I've done, I've got a video, okay, and my call to action in the video, you'll actually hear me say, hey, go to the description and, let me just close this again. Go to into the description and go check out my free webinar, or go into the description and go check out a couple of freebies that I have here. That's my call to action. And as you can see here, if someone watches my video, they come down here and look at this. This is the first thing they see, free masterclass. This is my webinar. The only way to start and grow your coaching, hypnotherapy, and NLP business from scratch without paid ads, funnels, or marketing know-how. And if they click on this, it will take them straight into my webinar. But as you can see here, look below, okay? Free strategy call. Book your free strategy call with Scott to design your business marketing and income growth. They can book a strategy call with me as well. Okay, so it's a mixture of that second and also, sorry, it's a mixture of that third system. So they can either watch my webinar, where my webinar is this one right here, which has 2 offers. The end offer will be join my program. This is for my 100K coaching program, or book a strategy call with me. Same thing here. So now what I'm hoping for is I get, let's say 60 or 70% that watch this video will go straight through to here. They'll register. They'll go all the way to the end of the webinar. They'll like what they hear. They'll join my program. I'll automatically get paid into my PayPal account. They'll automatically get their login details and they can access their program. All automatic. I don't have to touch it. Or And I should say, after that 60%, if they do want to book a strategy call, instead of joining my program, they have the option at the end of this webinar as my second offer, or they can just do it straight from here. Okay. Now, what's cool is, being that I use the third system, is if someone books here, it's either going to go to my booking system if it's in my time zone, or if it's outside of my time zone, it'll go straight through to my team's booking system. So you see what I'm doing there, guys? That's the third system in action. Okay. I'll just use, like I said, I'll use the YouTube because that's probably a better example. Like I said, I just want to recap real quickly here. On my video, I'll give a call to action. If you watch any of my videos, most of the time, probably 60% of the time, there's a call to action. There's a reason why it's not 100% of the time, okay? But I won't get into that now. But about 60% of my time, so every second and third video, I'll say, hey, go into the description, go watch my masterclass or book a strategy call with me. 60% of those people, let's say, will come through to the webinar. They'll watch the masterclass. 60% will buy at the end, and that last 40% will want to book a strategy call. Or if they don't want to watch the masterclass, they can just book a strategy call here. What's the point of all this, guys? Well, you can see the automation starting to happen. What's most interesting, I think, is this allows you to get more efficient with your time. Sure, I've still got to do the daily actions, but if I can spend more of my time doing the inputs, which is more of these videos, more on social media, we use Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, more of these per day, I can drive more of these inputs, more of these videos straight into my automated webinar or straight into my booking system. So essentially what I'm saying, the more inputs you do, the more chance you have of getting people through a process stage. Now remember, the basic system, just take them straight through a booking system. Once you get past that $10,000 to $20,000 per month, substitute this as your first call to action and just tell everyone to come through your webinar and allow your webinar to do the selling for you and allow your webinar to book strategy calls for you, and allow the webinar to book out your entire team's booking systems in their Calendly link and let them take the sales calls for you, let them close while you get paid, and you can spend 90, 95% of your time just doing more of this. Instead of 90 to 95% of your time on the phone taking strategy calls, now you can substitute those things out to start to automate. So there we have it, guys. Hopefully that broke down what it looks like to start to automate your systems, okay? And start to work your way through and evolve you through those different basic systems that you can have, from the basic system, the automated system, also your team system. If you have any questions, guys, about this, make sure you comment in the video below. If you have any questions, I always go out of my way to try and answer those questions the best I have. And guys, make sure as well you head over to scottjansen.com.au. Go pick up my free book, okay? It's a free copy of the book. You can download it instantly, which will talk in length and detail about these systems, okay, and how you can actually start to apply them to your business today. So guys, that's all from me for today. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye for now.